Healing Your Life, the Mirror Effect. Hi, I'm Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this is On the Wings of Your Mind. Healing Your Life, the Mirror Effect. So yesterday, we discussed the fact that the reality that we call life is actually a reflection of our own consciousness. Your own consciousness. The combined total of our thoughts, our emotions, attracts the circumstances of our lives. So you are not a powerless pawn in the course of your life. Remember, you are an individualized expression of infinite intelligence. And the universe responds to you by acting as a mirror. And because of this mirror effect, you have the power to change your life. You know, I'm always being revealed, as I revealed yesterday, I'm always being reminded of the mirror effect by the universe. And yesterday I cited how last week I encountered men named Andrew, or everywhere I went. Since I hardly ever encounter people with the name of Andrew, I knew Spirit was at work and trying to show me something. What was the message? Well, that's really a mystery, but I guessed that one reason was to show me that we need to recognize the fact that life is a mirror, and what we see is a reflection of who we really are. That's one guess. Of course, when we're dealing with messages from Spirit, there are always many levels, many hidden levels, and so it takes some time to think it through and see what else is there. Please remember to click on the thumbs up button, and if you haven't already done so, please choose to subscribe. Remember, I would love to hear your thoughts and your comments and questions, so please use the chat box on the right side of the screen or the comment section below. So, if life is a mirror, you might ask, how do I explain the wars that are going on around the world? How do I explain the pandemic? What about that, the COVID-19? What about all the messes in world affairs that are so upsetting when we look at the news on TV? How is all that a mirror of my consciousness? That's a fair question. It can all be pretty confusing, I'll admit. So let's break it down. Our lives are not one-dimensional. There are many levels that create the tapestry of human existence. The world is populated by billions of people. So yes, life is a mirror of consciousness, but when looking at world affairs, we're looking at the collective consciousness of billions of people around the world. Then, as we step down a level from the world situation, we have to look at the countries. And each country has its own population. Because it has its own population and traditions and culture, it also has its own collective consciousness, and therefore its own mirror, each and every country. Then within each of those countries, there are cities and towns. In the case of the United States, there are different states. And each one of those has its own collective consciousness, its own cultures, its own traditions, its own habits. And therefore, it has a different mirror, its own mirror. And then another level down from that, we've got organizations, companies, churches, etc. Each of those has its own collective consciousness and its own reflected reality, its own mirror. So you notice that I use the word collective consciousness. That means that the consciousness of each one of those groups, each one of those levels, is created by the combined consciousness of a group of individuals. Small group, large group, gigantic group, but it's a group consciousness. In fact, a lot of that consciousness was created by people and groups in the past. So the people in the present, most of the time, just accepted the consciousness that was already there. They just came in, accepted it, and tried to fit in. So The consciousness that they're reflecting is actually not even their own. It's the consciousness that they picked up because it was already there waiting for them to come in and fit in. So changes to the reality that we're facing have to involve the participation of all the people involved. So when we're looking at all these higher level things, all these bigger things, when we're talking about the mirror of consciousness, they have their own mirrors and you have yours. Because when it comes to your life, basically there is only you. Yes, you are part of the greater whole, I'll admit, but does the greater whole touch your life every day, every moment of every day? I think not. The only one who's involved in your life, every moment of every day, is you, and only you. Your experience is uniquely yours. Nobody, not your brother or sister, your significant other, your best friend, or anybody else that you are close to, nobody, no one else lives inside your life. Your life is yours alone. Your life is your mirror. Your life is your mirror alone. Alone. Uniquely. So consequently, your experience inside all those different levels of groups and organizations and governments and larger entities is still unique. It's only yours. So instead of getting distracted by all the affairs of others or the affairs of countries or the affairs of the world, let's focus on your story, your reality, your mirror. As you progress through this process, you're going to discover that what happens on the larger scale does not have to affect you in the same way that it does others. Your experience is unique. What happens to you is dependent only on your consciousness and the reality it creates in your mirror. As an example, I remember I was once working in a place where the unit that I was involved in was eliminated. They just got rid of it. And in that process, several people lost their jobs. I didn't. Me and another person were actually promoted into another group. So our consciousness was different from the consciousness of those who were let go. Different mirrors. In professional sports, for example, we've often seen players who were underperforming. You know, they got drafted or traded and there were high expectations and they just didn't click. And so they got dropped off of the team. Then another team picks them up and boom, suddenly they become stars. Why? Different mirrors. Their mirror did not fit into the group consciousness of the other place, and it did fit into the group consciousness of the new place. Different mirrors. So let's take a look at your mirror. Is your life moving on the path that you want it to move on? Are you okay with the way your life is going? What would you like to see changed in your life? It's a good idea to actually examine your life. What do you want to see changed in your life? I mean, it's more than I don't like what I'm doing or I don't like who I'm working with. No, let's look beyond that. Take a good look at yourself, a really good look at yourself, a really good look at your natural talents, a good look at your dreams and your ambitions. Really look at them. Most people do not look at them. Most of us don't know ourselves. Get out a piece of paper and take notes. Get to know you. Ask some hard questions. Who am I? Because most of us don't know. Most of us, when we're asked, what do you want to do, cannot answer that question. Most of us, when asked, what would you like to be when you grow up, cannot answer that question. Most of us drift through our lives taking what life has to give us as if we have no control, as if we have no say in the matter. We just take what we get. Stop it. Take a good look at yourself and get to know you. Write it down. Until you do that, your life is going to continue to drift. Your life is going to float toward being a confused mess. But as you proceed through that process of getting to know you, here are some things to think about. Okay, here's some steps. One, the first step is to remember that the reason you are doing this exercise is that you are not powerless. You are not powerless. You are an individualized expression of infinite intelligence. Therefore, you are not powerless. The power that created the universe exists inside you and is expressing as you. You are not powerless. How can you be powerless if you are of infinite intelligence? How can you be powerless if infinite intelligence is expressing through you, giving you access to all that power? The fact is, you are powerful, much, much, much more powerful than you even realize. That's step one. Realize that. Two, choose to embrace your life and understand that only you can change it. Only you can change it. Only you can change it. You are not a victim. You are not a bystander. You are the center of your life. And don't let anyone tell you any differently. You are the center of your life, and it doesn't matter what is going on in the rest of the world. It doesn't matter what is going on in the outside world. We're talking about you, your life, your mirror. So if you don't like what you see in your life, begin to figure out what changes you want to see in your life. Stop focusing on what is wrong with your life. Focus on what will make it right, what will make it better. Focus on looking for the better, not concentrating on the worse. And write it down, write it down, write it down. The reason I want you to write it down is so that it will stick. The reason I want you to write it down is so that you can take a look at it. Instead of it just running around in your head, you can actually see it before you. Number three, believe it or not, you are in control. Your magnetic force is pulling you into circumstances that are making you unhappy. If you want to be happy, look for what is good in your life. Whatever is already there, there's always good there. Look for the good. It's already there. When you find it, be grateful for it. Be vocally grateful for it. Say thank you for it. Thank you. Say it out loud so you can hear it as well as think it. Say it. Whatever you are grateful for, say thank you. And whatever you're grateful for is going to multiply. And what you ignore is going to fade away. So don't concentrate. Don't focus on what you don't like. Focus on what you do like. And say thank you. And therefore, what you focus on, energy follows thought. What you focus on is going to increase, and what you ignore is going to decrease. Number four, know and believe that you are enough. Dale Carnegie said, don't compare your insides to someone else's outsides. I told you that yesterday. So someone else may look like their life is better than your life. Someone else may look like their life is heaven. And then we read in the paper that they committed suicide. Huh? Everything is not as it seems. So realize that you are an individualized expression of infinite intelligence. You have a right to have what you want from your life because it is your life to have. It is your deserving to have. It is your worthiness to have what you want. So don't get caught up on what other people have and what you don't. Go for what you want. Look at what you want. Aim for what you want. Let go of what you don't want. Ignore it. Turn your back on it. Energy follows thought. Go for the good. Number five, love yourself. Please You're not as bad as you like to pretend you are. You're not as bad as you like to accuse yourself of being. Forgive yourself. Forgive your past mistakes. Remember, you were doing the best you could at the time with the information you had available. Today you know better, right? You know that was a mistake. So let go of the past and stop looking at it in a negative way. It was a lesson. It taught you something. And today, believe it or not, you're stronger for that experience. So love yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself. Your reality is based upon your consciousness, your reality, not the world's reality, your reality, not the city's reality, your reality, not your friend's reality, your reality. Your reality is based upon your consciousness. It's a mirror of your consciousness. What you consistently think about and feel will become a part of your life. You do not exist in a vacuum. You exist in a continuously vibrating field of energy. You are not surrounded by solid objects. You are surrounded by energetic objects vibrating at a slow rate. And if you could see everything around you through a powerful microscope, you would see only constantly vibrating atoms with no separation between anything or anybody. It is because of this basic makeup of matter that we can alter our reality, that you can alter your reality. Yes, since the world around us is always in motion, the energy we transmit outward through our thoughts, through our feelings, attract to us the situations and circumstances that match our core vibration. If you focus on getting better acquainted with yourself, if you focus on loving yourself, then your reality is going to begin to nurture you instead of stressing you. You deserve a life that makes you feel good about yourself. You deserve a life that makes you smile. You do. You are an individualized expression of infinite intelligence, and you have the power to make that happen. Do it. Do it. Do it. Let's close with prayer. Thank you, infinite intelligence, for bringing all of us together in this life so that we may become spiritual warriors and join in the work we have come to do. Thank you, infinite intelligence, for bringing us into this space of awareness and a deeper understanding of ourselves and our relationship to life and infinite intelligence. Thank you for showing us who we really are. We open our minds and hearts to the truth of our being. We are the children of God. We are individualized expressions of infinite intelligence. And because we are part of the greater whole, we're beginning to understand our value to the continuity of life on this planet. As we become channels of your power, infinite intelligence, we can feel your presence within ourselves and within our lives more and more. We know that as we feel your presence within our lives every day, we will rise because we are no longer cut off from you by being immersed in the darkness of fear, anger, and the pain of unforgiveness. So we are now restoring our connection through the grace of forgiveness, knowing that as we learn to forgive ourselves for the pain we have caused to ourselves, and as we learn to forgive those who have inflicted pain upon us, our connections will grow stronger, and our lives will grow happier and healthier and more prosperous. And for this, we are truly grateful. As above, so below. As within, so without. And so it is. Amen. Please, click on the thumbs up button. And if you haven't already done so, please choose to subscribe. Remember, I'd love to hear your thoughts and your comments. So please use the comment section below. I look forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you for watching. Remember, I am Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this is On the Wings of Your Mind.